Those Were the Days is filmed before a live internet audience.
Welcome to Those Were the Days, the podcast where we take a drive down the highway of television and take a look and see which stops are ones worth making again and hanging out with, or if we just need to keep on driving. We're getting into the holidays now, so of course we're talking about holiday episodes of TV and, all kinds of the holidays. Christmas, Thanksgiving, maybe even Festivus, who knows? There's plenty to cover. This week, though, we are talking about a Christmas episode. Oh, wait, but before we get there, let me introduce my fellow highway travelers. First, the best mechanic around, Travis.
So this show made me think of a little poem. I want to read part of that poem for you, okay? It goes a little something like this. Living easy, loving free. Season ticket on a one-way ride. Asking nothing, leave me be. Taking everything in my stride. Don't need reason, don't need rhyme, ain't nothing that I'd rather do. Going down, party time, my friends are going to be there too. I'm on a highway to, I don't know, somewhere.
And second, someone who deserves the car of her dreams, Amy.
So we've got a rich guy, and he's bad. There's only one thing to do in this situation.
And finally, the best toy store owner who will be open on Christmas Day, Steven.
I'm on the highway to heaven. I wrote that before Travis did his, just saying.
I do like that when you search for it, there are 5 separate shows called Highway to Hell and one just called Highway. And then you get there.
Yes, folks, we're talking about Highway to Heaven. I'm not even going to try and slip into that any more than we've already told you. So we're talking about Highway to Heaven. And as we like to do, let's see what everybody's history with this show is. Let's start with you, Travis.
I remember the show. I remember watching the show. I think my mom was a big fan of it. I couldn't tell you a single thing about it other than Michael Landon and his buddy, who I never knew his name growing up. I just knew Michael Landon because I remembered Little House on the Prairie.
Right.
That was basically it. Like I know I watched it, but I just don't remember anything about it.
Sure. Amy, what about you?
I mean, I remember it existing. Trav and I were talking before the show, and I remember Michael Landon dying young. I remember that being a thing. More than, but I'm sure my dad used to make Highway to Heaven jokes at some point. The visual of the opening, I remember, but I remember nothing about the show.
Yeah. Steven, what about you?
I was today years old when I saw even a clip of this show. I have no idea what it is. I know Michael Landon. That's a face everybody recognizes. But
it's a head of hair everybody recognizes.
Oh my gosh, the hair. Does it belong on that head? I don't know. It's up for debate.
Luscious.
But it is gorgeous. He is a Pantene Pro V commercial waiting to happen. Lady killer. But no, I had no idea this show existed, but it was fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I remember watching it, like Travis. I think I remember watching it with my parents a lot. And then I definitely remember it being one of those things that was a staple rerun on TBS way back when.
If you told me it was a show my grandma watched, I would 100% believe that.
So yeah, Highway to Heaven was an American fantasy drama that ran on NBC for 5 seasons from September 84 to August 89. It was created, co-directed, and starred Michael Landon. So he was all behind it. And he started as a probationary angel sent to Earth to help people. His co-star and co-director was Victor French, who played his buddy, who was also on Landon's previous show, Little House on the Prairie. So he basically wrote the role for him, knowing him and knowing how he worked as an actor. Was just like, let's go, bud. Let's do this.
It's like every podcast we all do.
can't just do podcasts with your friends. What are you doing?
Yep.
Every one of them? Yes.
Yes.
It was Landon's third and final TV series, and the only one to take place in present day. Past two series he was in, Little House on the Prairie and Bonanza. So, and he actually directed most of these episodes of Highway to Heaven. Victor French directed many of the rest. I think there was a handful of other people who filled in here and there. And this was actually French's final screen appearance ever. He died 2 months before the final episode aired.
Wow, he looks so young. He must have
he
taken
was
out early.
also 54.
Right.
Yeah.
He and Landon both died at 54.
That's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Michael Landon passed. That was because that was during we're watching TV and eating dinner. Entertainment Tonight is on, and that was a big thing. Like Michael Landon passing was a huge blow to television.
Yeah. So, and recalling about how he came up with the idea for Highway to Heaven, Landon said, I think he was on the Tonight Show or something when he was talking about it. He's like, I was driving through Beverly Hills to pick up my kids on a Friday night, and people were honking at each other. There's no worse place for that than Beverly Hills. I think when people have a little bit more money, they believe that the Red Sea will part and their car will go forward. And I thought, why is everybody so angry? Oh, Michael.
Yeah, that's a man who has not driven in Boston. Because it's like the rattiest, rustiest, held together with duct tape car, and the horn works though.
Oh yeah.
So he was like, if people would just spend the same time being nice, it's obvious the flow of traffic is going to go much better if everybody has his opportunity. So he decided to do this show about an angel helping people. And NBC was pretty skeptical when he pitched the idea. Thinking it would be an easy target for critics, but Landon was so persistent that he vowed if the pilot failed, he would produce a second pilot for the series with no pay.
Wow.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's putting your money where your mouth is. Like,
really, yeah. And especially for someone like Michael Landon, coming off of a show like Little House on the Prairie that was much beloved and everything.
And I mean, this is the ripe time for this kind of programming. You know, I think you were getting there was a lot of like heaven touched by angels stuff going on that people were into.
And say touched by an angel.
Yeah, touched by an angel was a big deal. We watch that all the time. And it was probably like related to how like scummy things get. I feel like a lot of times television will try to take an opposite side of wherever they feel like the culture. Like when things are good, they're like, let's do some rotten TV. And when things are bad, they're like, let's try to uplift the TV up a little bit. Sometimes I can't say that's all the time, but it feels like that's the way things go every now and then.
Yeah,
we don't want to watch what we're living. I guess is what I'm getting at.
No.
Right. For the most part, I think Highway to Heaven was one of those shows that tried to tackle some of those issues. Anyways, so Landon starred as probationary angel Jonathan Smith, sent to Earth to help people and earn his wings and possibly get into heaven. They never really specify that so much, but it's kind of the assumed thing. Victor French starred as retired policeman Mark Gordon, who helped Smith complete his assignments for the boss. Which is, it's funny how they use so much coded language in the show.
Just generic enough.
When they're alone in a car.
Yeah.
Right. So, and sometimes Jonathan will present gifts to folks. Tidy something up, make something happen that, and if somebody asks where'd that come from, he'd just say from a friend of mine. And sometimes even the boss intervenes with the stuff. So, and throughout the whole course of the series, Jonathan and Mark have a close friendship that they develop, even though they have kind of clashing personalities. Jonathan being the angel, compassionate, someone somewhat naive, and Mark being the pragmatic, cynical dude. And
history will call them roommates.
Yep. Sure.
Very good friends.
Right. It was filmed all in California. Most location scenes were in LA. There were a few others scattered around the state. Landon never visited a location before the shoot, ever.
great.
He preferred the spontaneity of working in an unfamiliar location and simply trusted his crew with whatever they scouted.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah. When I don't want to do work, I also call it trust.
Mhm. So, and like I said, it ran for 5 seasons. In June of '88, amid the Writers Guild strike, NBC decided season 5 would be the last due to falling ratings. Um, season 5 was weird though. The premiere aired that fall, and then it was removed from regular broadcast schedule entirely.
Mm.
Then there was this 2-hour special aired on December 7th of that year, and then nothing else happened, even though 10 more episodes were filmed. So one more episode randomly aired on March 10th in '89, and then the final 9 episodes aired in the summer of '89 in a Friday time slot.
Ugh.
So the series finale was actually a Christmas episode and aired August 4th.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
Timely.
Yep. And the cancellation actually marked the end of Landon's 30-year relationship with NBC.
Wow.
He had been working with them from Bonanza through Little House, all throughout those productions, and then Highway to Heaven were all at NBC. So after that, he, kind of had a falling out with NBC about it. Appeared in a couple of films on CBS. One was a TV pilot that never went anywhere because he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer on April 5th in '91. He made his final public appearance actually on NBC as a Tonight Show guest, and then died in July at 54.
Oof.
That pancreatic cancer, man, it moves
It's rough.
fast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. So after that, it began syndication in '89, started streaming in June of 2017 on Netflix, and then like most shows, it's bounced around streaming services since then. There was a reboot on Lifetime as a movie, but it was pretty loosely based. It just had an angel helping people, and she walked in on the highway. That was about the
That
only
was the
real
extent of it.
connection.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the same title. I did notice that when I was searching around, there was another Highway to Heaven Lifetime original or something.
Uh-huh.
I was like, wait, is that the same thing? But it did not look the same.
No, I mean it uses the name. It does, same kind of thing, but nobody's driving on the highway or anything.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how that show has gone. Now we're talking about season 1, episode 13, Another Song for Christmas. Before we get into the episode, I want to mention 3 particular people starring in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first one is our main guest star, Jeffrey Lewis,
Yeah.
as Honest Eddie.
Yep. Oh,
One of the
love.
most working actors in Hollywood.
Mhm.
Yes.
You go through his IMDb list. I was like, I know him from stuff. I know him from stuff.
Everything.
Holy crap, do I know him from stuff?
Yes.
And not
you
only do you know him from stuff, you know his daughter from stuff because his daughter is Juliette Lewis.
No
Right.
way.
Mhm.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
Holy cow. I wouldn't have guessed.
Yep. So it's funny. I was looking at it. I was like, where do I know him from? Like, what's my first Jeffrey Lewis thing? And I looked through it and I was like, definitely the same 2 kind of movies, Double Impact and Only the Strong. Where
Yep.
he plays like the white dude mentoring the other white dude hero of the story.
Well, and in the case of Only the Strong, it
Kind of
was
white
a
dude hero.
movie that I love, starring Mark Dacascos, and Double Impact is a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie
Right.
where he plays dual roles.
Jean-Claude did.
Yeah, Jean-Claude is playing twins in that movie.
Right.
Incredible.
Yep. But he's been in everything under the sun
Oh,
before and after that. So like several of the shows we've covered, he has been
Oh
in.
yeah.
He's done Magnum, he's done Murder, She Wrote, all kinds of stuff.
Golden Girls. Yeah.
Everything.
Golden Girls. Yeah.
Look at that. He's worked every year,
Yeah.
a few times.
Uh-huh.
MacGyver, designing women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was in Little House on the Prairie. He did an episode of that. Like he
Yep.
he was in
The
all over.
A-Team.
Right.
Yeah. Dallas, Magnum
Mhm.
PI, The
And-
Fall Guy. He's been in everything.
And
Yeah.
what I noticed in this episode is how good he is at both ends of the cartoonishly over the top spectrum.
Yep.
Very much so.
Like just as a mustache twirling evil, Scrooge, and a just joyful, childlike, end of this. It was great. I just love Jeffrey Lewis.
Two others I want to point out. Two of the Ratchet children from the end. We'll get to that scene, but one of the girls was actually played by Kelly Martin. So those of you who remember her, she was Becca in Life Goes On. She starred in the TV show Christie, and also was a star on ER for a while.
Yeah.
Among many other things she's done here and there. She's done her fair share of Lifetime movies and that kind of or Hallmark movies.
Hallmark movies, heck
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I saw
Happy
that like
Hallmark
right now
movies.
she owns a toy store and runs that along with doing writing and stuff.
Man, I
Man,
want
that
to own
sounds like a
toy
Hallmark
store.
movie.
I know,
Yeah.
right? The other one I want to point out, little Bobby Ratchet, was played by Matt Shackman, who we've seen on this show. He was one of the kids in Just the 10 of Us, but he went on to be a very famous director among many other series, including WandaVision and the latest Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yeah. Holy
And Game of
cow.
Thrones. And
He's
Always
yep.
Sunny.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's done a
Good
bunch
grief.
of stuff.
He's done a lot of
Yeah,
TV.
you said that, and I thought WandaVision immediately. Yeah,
Yep.
that would awesome. What a crazy world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so upset that their name was Ratchet and he was a mechanic that I didn't get. I was so upset about that I got completely blinded that it is just Bob Cratchit. And I didn't even get that far because I was just too busy being mad about the other thing.
What's this kid's name? Metric? Is this kid's name 10 millimeter? What are we doing here?
Yep. So another Christmas song, or another song for Christmas, basically saying, hey, guess what? We're going to do a Christmas Carol again.
So I did this, right? So as soon as we see this rich guy being an absolute horror show, I was like, are we going to Christmas Story this man? And then it cuts to them in the hotel. And Michael Landon is sitting on the bed reading A Christmas Story. And I went, okay.
Well, they did it at the very beginning. They panned down the Christmas tree and then they panned down straight to the book.
Yeah.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's like a Christmas Story. Okay. I guess that's where
All
we're going.
I may have zoned out for a minute because that was a 2-minute 30-second intro where nothing happened. It was just a tune. It wasn't even a recognizable tune.
No, but I do remember that intro with just his silhouette and the walking down the highway.
Right, that's the part I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not remember the extra minute of clouds partying.
Right, it was
and sun
just
shining
forever.
through it.
It was
Yeah,
forever.
I did go get a sandwich.
You could have made a sandwich. You could have toasted a bagel in the amount of time that this took.
Mm-hmm. So we get all that, and then we get Jonathan and Mark just driving down the road trying to figure out what they're going to do next. Talking about it's almost Christmas and don't angels get the day off? And it's like, why would we get off at Christmas?
Yeah, angels don't get holidays.
Yeah. So, and then the boss turns the car around. So let's just go back the way we came for whatever reason.
Absolutely brutal.
And then we cut to the car dealership. First, we get the old couple wanting to buy a car.
The
Not
most
sure.
80s thing that just happens. I was like, oh, we're deep in the Reagan era, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
We're
They're
really
not sure they
old.
can
We'd
afford
like
it.
a 15-year loan.
They're not sure they can afford it. They're talking to the guy. And this is Honest Eddie's car dealership.
Which, first red flag for me, Eddie
can't.
spelled Eddy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That bothered me.
Edie.
Yeah, that's not the same.
That bugged me right away, and I'm like, I already don't like Honest Eddie. Aside from the fact that this is a show from the 80s and we're dealing with a used car lot.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
And you don't get to call yourself Honest Eddie.
No.
You know,
Right.
That's what other people call you. You don't put that on your signs.
Unless you're this
you're crooked.
Eddie and his mentality.
Yeah.
And his haircut, whatever was going on
Oh
there.
my gosh.
I think he would have been much more compelling character without the weird haircut. I would have believed him better.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
That was a choice.
And he's one of those guys that I think looks a lot better with a stash on. So him
Yeah.
clean shaven was not as great.
A lot of upper lip up there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Fill that in.
Old people don't think they can afford it, and Eddie comes in and says, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it."
Once he says, "I'll do the financing myself," I'm like, "Oh, hey, just hornswoggling these people."
Which he immediately shows us because, what is his employee Tony goes out to talk to him about it, and he immediately shows us who he really is. It's like, of course they can't afford it. First missed payment, we'll repo it. You can make more money selling a car 3 times. Plunder and pillage, dude.
This kind of scenario is why I'm grateful for Yelp reviews. Because this guy had a dumpster fire to everyone.
Do you remember the housing burst that happened not that long ago? It's this.
Yeah.
It was this precise scenario.
This is what caused it. Yeah, but this is the kind of guy that would go into the Google reviews, and argue with the people and tell them they're stupid. I've read into those before where I'm like, should I go there? And it's arguments back and forth in public between the owner. I'm like, no, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
And then he proceeds to go from there to talk to his new employee, Mr. Ratchet. So he wants, and forgot to write down his first name, but Mr. Ratchet comes in and is like, hey, I want to get a advance if I can, because I want to, now that I've got a job, I want to buy my kids some toys. And so Eddie's like, yeah, sure, go for it. Just come back, after work, and we'll just do a few things, and then sure, that'll be fine. It's like, what do you want me to do? It's like, oh, no, nothing much. Just, spin back the odometers on a few cars. That's all. He's immediately like, that's like federal crime, wrong.
Yeah.
That's not entirely legal, sir.
Yep. And it basically
he's like,
is just
I know that. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
How many times he's like, yeah, obviously.
He's just like, I know, I don't care.
That's why we do it when everybody goes home.
Yeah.
Like, in the defense of this character, he is not just evil. He is cartoonishly, gloriously, gleefully evil.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care if anyone knows.
And if you don't know during this, you do know when he gets home.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, our buddy Dave here, that was his name, Dave Ratchet, is like, yeah, I can't do that. He's like, okay, fine, you're fired. And Dave's just like, well, what about my pay? You owe me 2 days' pay. And Eddie's just like, sue me for it, whatever.
That was actually pretty good. Like, that was as bad guys go.
Yeah.
That part, I was like, that's pretty good.
Right. And then as soon as that confrontation is done with, a board member from the orphanage shows up, Mr. Millard.
Okay, we do get to why he has a deep, needs some therapy hatred of the orphanage, which I do understand from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised that someone's like, no, I had it bad, so they should have it worse.
Yes.
All we were missing was, as he walked away from the guy about the orphanage, he also kicked a puppy.
Yeah.
And stole some kid's lollipop.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we
Just
were missing.
Walked by and slapped an ice cream right out of a kid's hand.
Yep.
So instead, he gets to talk to Jonathan and Mark, who have pulled up. Tries to sell him a car, and I love this exchange. He's like,
good.
would you believe it has 30,000 miles on it? And Jonathan's immediately like, nope. Has 153 miles. He's like, 153,000. It's like, wait, what? He's like, no, check the odometer. And he proceeds to give him the Carfax on his own car.
I was going to say, I was like, he's got the Carfax.
Yeah, that's handy.
So
I didn't know God concerned himself in such matters as to have a Carfax report.
Yep. Which
Whatever
he
it
begins
needs.
to ask, like, what are you guys? Police? Better Business Bureau? Get out of here. And he walks away from that exchange just like, ugh, in a huff. To which Jonathan's just like, hey, Eddie, Merry Christmas. Just typically happy angel.
He was a lot. He was just so, I don't know. Angels have flaming swords and stuff, and
and wings with eyes all over.
Yeah,
them.
eyeballs everywhere.
Yeah.
To quote the movie
biblically
Michael,
accurate Michael Landon.
To quote the movie Michael, he ain't that kind of angel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's so chill.
Mm-hmm. So we go from that to Jonathan and Mark just kind of walking down the street trying to figure out what they're supposed to do. And Mark's just like, it doesn't quite feel like Christmas. There's no snow. And just as Jonathan's like, you want me to do something about that?
Yeah, how much do you need? Maybe I can get it. And I was like, you will kill everyone in LA.
Yes.
They don't know how to
Yep.
drive
They
in
don't
the
need
snow.
that.
They do not
No.
have the infrastructure. Everyone will die.
Yep. And then somebody's like, hey, Jonathan. And he's like, Chris. And of course,
That
he
was
walks
funny.
over to his Santa Claus.
This was hands down, though, my favorite moment in the entire episode was
Mhm.
him seeing this with Santa Claus and the whole Chris
Right?
That was funny.
and just all of it. And meanwhile, you've got Victor French over there, like, what is happening?
Yeah,
What is-
he's like,
what is
"Who-
this?
Who's
Why
that?
is
It's
he-
like, an old friend. How long have you known him? Since I was a kid. He's Chris who? And then, just as he's asking that question, they see Dave Ratchet over there across the street trying to break into the toy store.
Very
No,
subtly.
what- Not, yeah.
He's not a
Yeah.
pro
It's not
thief.
how. It's not going to work.
No.
First of all, backdoor.
Mhm.
Second of
Mm.
all,
Yeah, not-
backdoor. Third of
not
all,
the
that's
street
not how you do
Entrance.
Right. But I think we're trying to show that Dave Ratchet is a good guy who just wants to do good with his kids and isn't thinking,
Oh yeah, definitely.
like that.
No, he's a desperate man right now.
Mm-hmm.
With a rubber
it.
screwdriver.
Crowbar.
Yeah. It's not going to work.
So they walk over to him and was like, hey, you closing up? And Dave just plays it off like, yeah. It's like, okay, cool. He walks away.
I
And,
kind of thought that they were going to call him on it because it's like, you're going to be open tomorrow? Yeah, I'll be open tomorrow. Like, no, you won't. It's Christmas.
Right?
Right.
This is back when blue laws existed and stores didn't open on holidays.
Uh-huh.
Now
like-
they'd be like, yeah, we open at midnight.
I feel
Right.
like it was kind of it was realistic to me that the angel would just be like, okay, just
Mhm.
I'm just redirecting. I'm not trying to out you. I'm just
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
just redirecting your attention.
Yep. Because, Mark, Victor French is like, we just going to let it slide? It's like, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. He
And,
knows what he's doing. He knows
right.
that guy's heart. He's like, he's
So
just
Mark's-
we're gonna
Right.
get it.
So
We're
Mark's
gonna-
like, so he's our assignment? And Jonathan's like, he's part of it. Oh, yeah. By the way, Crinkle, my friend's name. Chris Crinkle.
Yeah.
I love that he finished that.
yeah.
He just put a button on that. It's like, okay.
No, we got it. We
Yeah.
knew.
We
Mhm.
picked up on it. We're smarter than we look.
Right. Then we got to Jonathan and Mark hanging out in their hotel room.
Okay. The decorations. The two pieces of very sad Christmas decoration up in the motel.
Because they're shooting this
I
in
love it.
July. They don't have the budget to make it really look great.
Right.
But I mean, what hotel puts up Christmas decorations in the room?
Yeah, I
That's
can't
a
think
good
of one.
question.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that. Sanitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jonathan is reading a book, which happens to be A Christmas Carol. Mark is looking out the window for nothing. He's just looking out the window. He's not trying to see if Santa Claus is flying his sleigh. And it's
Cool.
Jonathan's like, what are you looking at? It's like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just looking out the window.
Pretty good.
And then Mark's just like, I don't know. I'm antsy. I don't think I can sleep. I don't know. We need to do something. And that's when Jonathan's like, here, read this book. Maybe this will make you go to sleep. And as soon as he hands him the book, he's just like, does the typical,
Yeah. That book was laced with
Marley was
melatonin.
dead to begin with. Out.
Mhm.
He got that far.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
I love that you get to know the beginning of most Dickens books.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
worst of times.
Well,
it was
that's
the
one of
best
the great
times.
things about A Muppet Christmas Carol is that
Yeah.
like the majority of Gonzo's lines are directly from the book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Call
Mhm.
me Ishmael.
Yeah.
We just know him.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot just before that. Mark is telling Jonathan that I don't believe in Santa Claus. Like, that would make me a kook. And Jonathan's like,
calm-
you said
calm
the same thing when I told you I was an angel.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, that's different.
That's different. That was 12 episodes ago.
Right.
Yeah. Legitimately.
Yep. So Mark falls asleep with Jonathan staring at him somehow.
Not creepy at all, by the way.
Not at
just
all.
To,
No.
Just to sit and just stare at his friend sleeping.
They did this in
upset.
Twilight, and it was called romance. So
They were very good friends.
Mhm. The streams are crossing. I'm just thinking about Michael Landon sparkling now.
Sparkly Michael Landon. He'd have made a
Mhm.
great vampire.
So he tells Mark goodnight, and then we fade away, and then we come back to Eddie coming home to apparently some kind of mansion. We don't see a whole lot of it, just that big entrance.
Which
Entrance
we got
hall
some
kind
mileage
of
out of
thing.
that entry.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Entryway.
word. They were just like, we ain't got budget for multiple cameras. Just jam it up on the balcony and aim it
Well,
down.
okay, so
Mhm.
here was because I did do that. I was like, what are we doing? But then I was like, oh, well, we have an angel's eye view of what's
Oh.
happening. I
Sure.
understand what we've
Yes,
done.
that is exactly the storytelling we were after.
That's fine. It was
Yep.
really funny, though.
This is also the wealthiest used car salesman in the history of used car
Yeah, it's kind
salesmen.
of like the whole, well, because he's a scammer.
Well,
Right.
yeah, okay, that's what it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
right. So Eddie's yelling at his butler to get the door for him. And then says, "Okay, and I'll see you tomorrow." But sir, tomorrow's Christmas. I expected to have the day off, go see my grandkids. It's like, I need my breakfast. Who's gonna cook that for me? Me?
Typical.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't cook breakfast for myself. You cook it for me. So be here at 8. And the butler's just like, "Oh, yeah, okay, whatever." And then we get to Eddie in his pajamas and his robe and just falling asleep to himself on the TV.
Yeah.
And then
That's how you know he was rich in 1984,
Mhm.
because he had a television in his bedroom.
There
yeah,
you go.
that's true. Yep.
That remote, though,
I also,
I-
two big buttons.
I half
Uh-huh.
expected the remote to have a cord on it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
I feel like it's a requirement that in any retelling of A Christmas Carol, that the Scrooge character has to be wearing those types of slip-on
pajamas.
shoes and
Uh-huh.
pajamas.
Oh yeah, and
the
slippers.
leathery,
Yeah.
weird slip-on shoes. I can feel those on my feet.
He
I'm
was
bothered
just
by 'em.
missing the cap. He needed the
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
stocking cap.
we all would have. We all
So he
needed the
could hold
cap on his
shoe.
head because I was
Yeah.
just so distracted by the pumpkin pie head that he had going on.
I was gonna say maybe the haircut was supposed to be the cap.
It's because
Yeah.
it didn't come down far enough in the back. His barber did him dirty. Like it was almost like a 1792 monk haircut.
Yeah.
You know, like a Breton from Skyrim or something.
Yep. So
He's got
Jonathan's
skills
doing-
in magic.
Jonathan's doing his angel thing. He shows up on the television, freaks out Eddie. Eddie tries to turn off the TV, doesn't work because then Jonathan's right there in the room.
Looks like he's about to kill him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you could easily,
Hello.
little change
Eddie.
in music,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and suddenly this is a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael
Well,
Landon would have been great in a horror movie.
Michael Landon
Are you
crawls out
kidding
of the
me?
TV like the ring. He
Yeah.
just
Well,
Yeah.
he had the horror movie line. You can shut off
Yeah.
the TV, but you can't shut off the truth.
oh snap!
Yeah.
What a
Brutal.
line.
And Eddie's just like sticks his hands up. Like so, he tries to run her away, door won't open. And then Johnson's like, "We're gonna take a little trip." He's like, "What?" So he's like, "Go ahead, open the door." Eddie opens the door, and it's the past, because that's the part of the Christmas Carol we're in at this point.
Yeah.
So it's back to when Eddie was a kid, living with the family he had at the time. They're all
Which is just his grandma.
Mhm.
I should
Right.
mention. Okay, so first of all, this door opens and there's a quilt on the back of the couch, and I went, ooh. But then, in order to show you how poor they are, there is a giant hole in the quilt. And no self-respecting granny would have let that stand. That is an easy fix, and it would not have been there. And I was then distracted for the entirety of the remainder of the scene. I was
This is
like,
like the equivalent of like
that granny is so intense. She is not letting that stand. She's gonna cut up some old shirts and she's gonna fix that.
It's levels
There's
of rage
no
like the
need.
computer guy watching Independence Day.
Yeah.
That's not how viruses work.
Pretty much. But it's the past, so we got to have somebody playing a sad harmonica.
There's one shot where they're watching the kids watching Peepaw play the Christmas songs on harmonica, and none of them look interested. They've been told to do this, and I was like, yeah, all right.
That's how it is.
Believable.
This was confusing, though, that there were so many people. Because
Right.
it is just him and grandma. So we find out that these are neighbors, but I did
Yeah.
not, the whole time I was like, look at this great family.
Yeah. I mean, they talk about the neighbors bringing food for everybody. They don't really specify that these are neighbors.
Because
It's
it was a
just really-
drought year.
Right.
And he peaked the mic
Mm-hmm.
when he said it was a drought year. And I was like, whew, couldn't have done it again, huh? Just the
Yeah.
one?
Nope.
Okay.
Run and gun. Do one and go.
So all the kids get gifts from under the tree, and little Eddie doesn't have anything. I'm sorry, little Edward doesn't have anything. And that's because grandma got his gift and it was too big to fit under the tree. She runs and grabs it and pulls it out. It's a nice bicycle.
A fully adult-sized
Yes.
Right.
bicycle.
Mm-hmm. And we go back and forth between Edward and his grandma, telling each other how much they love each other. And then grown Eddie telling Jonathan how much this is all crap and he's better, that he's rich now and has made so much money. He's a millionaire. Of course, grandma would be proud of him.
Right.
I was like, what's up with these Arkansas? Because they say Arkansas. And they were like, I'm like, what's up with these Arkansas accents? And then I realized that I actually don't know what anyone from Arkansas sounds like. So I was like, oh, maybe it's fine.
Isn't that where the Clampets were from?
Was it?
Yeah.
Might have been.
They're from the Ozarks, which I know, Missouri.
Mm.
I don't know. We can get, well, you know what? Beverly Hillbillies is coming one day.
It'll come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will.
We'll work it
It
out.
will.
By the way, grandma in this scene, because this
Okay.
was a thing. So Amy already knows this. I mentioned it to her, but Stephen and Audie, I'll start, Stephen, with you. How old do you think the actor playing grandma was in this scene?
64.
Okay. Audie, how about you?
Yeah, I was going to say like 60.
Yeah, 67.
Close.
But she looks just shy of 100.
Yes.
Okay, and there's one. Her face. I think it's when she comes out with the bicycle. Her face is out of a Hitchcock episode.
Yes.
Like she's got this like she's like, I love you so much, I'm going to kill you in your sleep, so you
Yeah.
don't have to suffer anymore.
Oh, it's the
That's what
forced,
that face
It's a
was.
forced smile. It's like it's like she held it too long in a picture and it's no longer natural.
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
just gets her eyes aren't doing what her mouth is. It's just a very different.
Yeah.
It's a
It
different.
was
look.
crazy. But and the reason I looked up, because she looked familiar and I could not think
She
of what it
did.
was. And so I looked her up and I was like, wow, her last credit was in 2000? How old was she? And then I kind of did the math. I'm like, no, she was a lot younger than I thought
Wow.
at the time of making this. And what I recognized her from is she was one of the many cast members of Cocoon
Oh, there you
Right.
go.
right around the same
Yeah.
time. But yeah, I couldn't believe. I'm like, she was 67. Yeah, it was the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
People age very differently back then. A
Yes.
lot of smoking going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And this is where we get Eddie's story about how his grandma never made it to the next Christmas. He got put in, what did he call it? Basically a home.
Orphanage.
Yeah, an orphanage. And this is where Jonathan's like, okay, well, you guys really loved each other then. When's the last time you told someone you loved them?
I have expected him to be like, right there.
Yeah.
Right.
That was it.
Did it. Check
And then,
box.
and you're like, okay, well, Eddie's heartless, until Jonathan's like, well, time to go. He's like, but can't we stay here? Can't we just hang out a little bit? And then they both start to disappear.
Well, so he asks him if he thinks his grandmother would be proud of him.
Right.
And he's basically like, of course she would. I'm rich.
Mm-hmm. because that's what
Yeah.
matters.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
but are
was
your
what,
socks
6?
clean?
He doesn't remember well enough to
No.
know
No.
what she liked.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do like that he understood he was disappearing. Like
Yes.
that was not just
Yeah.
a special effect. That was something happening to him. He's like, wait, whoa, what is this going on?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he appears in his car with Mark driving it.
This gets funny at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It
does.
does.
Carry on.
Because it becomes a running gag that I did not expect to become a running gag.
No.
No.
So he's like, hey, what are you doing? Who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm the spirit of Christmas present, and we're going to go for a ride. And I love how with the most budget they had, made it decently look like they were in a flying car.
Yeah.
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 Like they
They did a
just
good job.
angled that camera right, Eddie freaking out, and then the aerial shot over
Mhm.
this town. I was like, okay, that was a super budget thing to do, but you pulled it off super well.
Mm-hmm.
That is what nearly 30, or I guess at that point, probably 20 years of television experience gets you.
Yeah.
is
Right.
He knew how to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And then I love that they went from that immediately to a cut of kids in an orphanage with airplanes running down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie and Mark are in the orphanage again. Nobody can see them. Nobody can hear them. They just get to see and react to everything. Kids are running around in those big long shirts, and they actually explain it because they can't afford actual pajamas. That's the easiest thing they can give orphans.
Makes sense. One size fits all.
Right.
Yeah.
To which Eddie immediately complains about it. It's like, you could do something about that, Eddie.
Eddie, you can fix all this, babe.
Mm-hmm. So, again, he's just complaining about the orphanage and how it should be. And then Eddie's attorney walks in, and he immediately recognizes him, Caleb Fish. And he's there giving Mr. Millard an eviction notice for the next freaking day.
Yeah.
That's not. No lawyer is working on a holiday.
No, he's not.
Though he's supposed to be heartless too.
Yeah.
Although these are billable hours.
They are billable
That's true.
hours.
Right.
And he's playing heartless, but as we learned, he's got just a dash.
Well, right, because then we come to
Yes.
Millard asking him about it, like, just going off on Eddie. He's the most despicable, blah, blah, blah human being ever. And Eddie's like, cut him off, Caleb. Don't let him say that about me. And Fish is just like, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. Whoops.
But he owns the land.
See, and that was the part where you're learning, okay, he's a scumbag lawyer, but he's a scumbag lawyer only really doing this because he's being made and paid to.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't sympathize with him at all. I just now see it's, he's
Right.
getting paid, he's on retainer, he's got to make the deal happen.
Yeah.
But he's not heartless enough that he's like, look, you can plead your case if you want. Here's his address. Go for it. Be my guest. Good luck. I don't think it's going to change anything.
Yeah. And then he says, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which is the human coming out right before he walks out the door.
Right. To which Eddie is just like, well, so much for friendship. And Mark's like, really? You expected friendship like that? And that's when Eddie's like, that's why you trust money and not friendship. Because money's never going to go away. It's like, okay, as we're sitting in an orphanage.
Right.
And then he's like, don't worry, the kids will be okay. I learned from the school of hard knocks, they will too.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old bootstrap defense.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. They can do it.
And then they disappear again. And this is where the running gag starts because Eddie's like, no, not this again. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. And then again, we're in the present. So we reappear at Dave Ratchet's house. And Eddie's first thing is, what a dump.
Good work.
Which is a
And then-
perfectly fine looking little house.
Yeah, it
I
was-
didn't see any problems with it. It was
No.
fine.
Yeah. It was just a
like we
small
see one of the
house.
presumably Tiny Tim. I mean, Billy. I mean, we see that. I'm pretty sure he has a bed in his parents' room because we see that he like so like
Oh yeah.
that's it's tight quarters, but it's
Yeah,
sure.
perfectly nice.
That's
a nice
all,
little
yeah.
bungalow. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. So, he complains about it. Mark's just like, really? You're going to do that? It's like, well, it's not my fault he's out of a job. He wouldn't turn back the odometers. So, little Bobby wheels in. And, they all get one gift under the tree. Simple gifts. Dave is very just like, this is all we could do, kids. I'm really sorry. And they're all like, it's fine, Dad. This is a gift. We love you. So he kind of loses it and goes off. And the kids are like, what's going on? And Mom's like, well, he lost his job because he wouldn't do something his crooked boss wanted him to. And one of the daughters, I don't remember because I didn't try to watch it again, but I'm guessing Kelly Martin had this one. It's
Yeah.
just like, I hate him.
Yeah.
Stupid person. And Mom's like, we don't hate people like that. We feel sorry for them. Which obviously hits Eddie like, wait, what?
That's a big
She
thing
feels
growing
sorry
up.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
We were not allowed to hate people growing up. We
Yeah.
could not like people. We could be
Yep.
angry with people. We were not allowed to hate people.
Yeah.
Right.
Hate was a 4-letter word.
I've gotten over it. Sorry, Mom, but
My impulse is to hate. I try to
Mhm.
bring it back.
desperate times.
It's not always.
Right.
I'm not always successful.
So, little Bobby goes to comfort his dad and, just does the typical, hey, look, we're together. That's the greatest Christmas present. And then Eddie is starting to have an epiphany. He's like, wait, they still love him even though he let him down? And that's when Mark's like, he didn't let him down. He's a lucky man. And Eddie just kind of lets it like, never had anyone back me up like that. So we see some remorse coming through a little bit.
Finally, I thought
right?
this guy was a lost cause for most of this episode.
Yeah.
I was like, what? You can look at the orphans and not feel sad? What the devil's
right?
wrong with
Yeah.
Yeah.
These orphans need to grow a spine.
you?
Again, he should be just kicking
Yeah.
puppies in between each
Right.
scene.
I really do
So-
want a Christmas Carol one day. And maybe someone can tell me if there is one where they do go after someone who's just an irredeemable
Irredeemable.
a-hole. You just all the way through. And they're like, don't you know, have you learned? Everyone's going to die. This story sucks. I'm out.
Right.
And just continues being a hate monger. That would be fine. I'd like to see that play. But from like the spirit's point of view, like here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Failed.
Except without getting into too much, I feel like we're seeing that in real life in the current
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no,
well-
that's true.
But speaking of death, we learned that Bobby's not going to make it next Christmas because of his health.
Whatever
whatever's going on.
malady he has.
Yeah. And
He has wheelchair syndrome.
they don't have the money for whatever operation he needs for wheelchair syndrome.
Yep.
And Eddie's just like, can't they just go to a hospital? It's like, this isn't just anything. They have to go to a special doctor and they just can't afford it.
This is a wheelchair-otomy. And
Yeah.
they don't perform those.
Yep.
They don't do
everywhere.
those at the free hospital.
Uh-huh.
Also, show me where is the show? Please show me. Show me on the map where the free hospital.
Right.
Did they have a
Right.
St.
Mhm.
Jude in 1980, whatever? They did. But
They
that
did,
would have.
Oh.
but that's
Yeah. And look, we're trying to tell a story here.
Right.
yeah.
The funny thing is the St. Jude commercial came on right at the end of the episode.
Incredible,
Yeah.
top tier.
Excellent. Good
I
timing.
love that.
Yeah.
So, but then they disappear again.
1957.
Mm.
Okay. So
Wow.
That's
All
great.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because wasn't her father the one that started that?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know.
So,
Yeah, but yeah, it was a dude.
Sorry,
it was
side
a
tangent.
dude. I can't remember the story.
so they disappear again. Eddie freaks out again. He's like, not this again.
I love it because it's just this annoyance. Like, I hate this.
Mhm. Yeah.
So good.
And then they reappear, or Eddie reappears in a cemetery. And he looks around. Mark's not there. oh, but there's Jonathan. He's like, what is going on? Where are we? And Jonathan's like, no, when are we? We're in the future, Eddie. And they, of course, walk up to a couple of guys who are trying to fill a hole.
All
And
right.
somebody,
Here was my problem with this. Because they're like, it's Christmas. And I'm like,
Mhm.
we could have left this man in the freezer for like a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we did
Mhm.
not have to do this today.
Nope.
I am
Like
quite
unless he is of
certain-
the faith, which it didn't seem like he was Jewish. So I hope he
Mm.
wasn't, given the entire plot of the story.
Right.
So you know, I feel like we probably could have let him sit for one more day.
Mhm.
Listen,
Didn't
if it
have
was
to make
if
these
it was our
guys.
caretaker from Kolchak,
They
he
would
would have
not
been
have
like,
been
"Nope,
working.
sorry,
No, yeah.
The
union
union
rules."
says
Yep.
we
They
needed
get the holiday,
him.
buds.
Look, that ground is cold too. It's December.
Yeah,
Like
it
you're
is.
gonna
Yeah.
need a backhoe for this.
Yep. So we see these guys filling in the dirt, talking about it. Like, you know, just like, did you see this dead guy? He didn't have any friends. Only the priest was there. Good Lord. Like, you know what? It's Christmas. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
And that's when they're like, yep, let's get out of here.
Just
This party
throw
ain't
our
going
shovels
anywhere.
down,
You
leave
just
this dead
like
guy.
an open grave with like 3
Mhm.
tablespoons of dirt in it.
Yeah.
Maybe don't though.
Maybe go ahead and finish that job. Just
Yeah,
scoop
that
it.
one-
Yeah.
You know?
Like do it better. Go
Yeah.
from the back. Just push.
Yeah, just shove the dirt into the hole.
Yeah.
We'll come back later, but no.
Right.
You can't leave an open grave.
No.
Nobody's here. Okay, but actually on Christmas, I feel like the possibility that people could be there is actually pretty high.
What if it
Yeah.
rains?
Probably later in the day, but yeah.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
They're gonna go visit. I
Mhm.
think you should probably not leave a gaping hole.
Probably not.
They didn't even have any ropes around it or
No.
nothing.
Nope, nothing.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah.
That caretaker would not have stood for this.
No,
No.
dude, there's multiple problems here.
Yeah.
But we got this giant ornate headstone apparently, and Jonathan makes Eddie come over and take a look at this. And of course, it's his headstone. It's Eddie that's dead, that nobody
this
was there
point,
for.
I probably would have been like, I did all right. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's a
look
nice
how far I
headstone.
made it.
Uh-huh.
It's a nice headstone. Does it have my chocolate chip cookie recipe on the back?
Yeah.
Great.
Because
Yeah.
we're gonna die. This is not a surprise. But somehow the Scrooge character is always shocked that death is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well,
dude.
because they're always shocked to hear, like, because it's supposed to be that they're shocked that they would be spoken about in such a way.
Yes.
Right.
Which
yeah.
is not exactly how it goes down here.
No, it always
Mhm.
is. Oh, they saw their grave. But how do I stop this? Well,
right. Which
bad
is what he-
news, fella.
which is what he does. He's like, there's got to be a way to stop it from happening. Jonathan's gone. He's like, tell me how to change it.
Yeah.
I would be scared if I was in the future and the person who brought me to the future vanished.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
would
just
be like,
left me there.
oh no.
Yeah. Yep. Got to go
Yeah.
run and find Doc. So.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
even make money on sports betting here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the next leap will be the leap home.
There we go.
That was all I could think about during this show, by the way. They're not that far apart.
That was good.
No, they're really not.
Not for these segments, not at all. Except then Eddie does wake up in his bed back at home. And here's the butler knocking on his door, trying to wake him up. And he's there and he's got ready to cook breakfast for him. And Eddie immediately is like, what are you doing here? It's Christmas. You should be with your family.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
The
He's-
man made this entire breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Yeah.
like, I couldn't eat. It's Christmas. What you, sir, regardless of your change of heart now, you made that old man come
Right.
to your house and cook you breakfast.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
he makes up for it as he's shoving him out the door. Hey, have I ever given you a raise? It's like, when's the last time I gave you a raise? It's like, never. And he's just like, well, how much do you want? And his butler, Joseph's just like, wait, he's like, whatever, I'll double it. Go home.
So which I mean, depending on how long he's worked there, I don't know that doubling it is really going to do it. But I did think pretty poorly of Joseph at that point, right? I was like, why would you stay? And then I remember we were in a Reagan's America, so yeah,
Yes.
you do need to hang on to that job. You do need to cling to that
Hang
terrible,
on.
terrible job.
Yep. So Joseph leads, and then we've got our Mr. Millard coming to talk to Eddie about the orphanage. And I kind of like the way Eddie kind of leads him on, like, yeah, we got to take that place down so we can build a brand new one that's much better. And he's like, wait, what? Yeah, so like I'm gonna write you a check, 250,000. Will that work?
You're gonna tear down and rebuild an entire orphanage
Right.
for 200 and buy pajamas
Uh-huh.
for $250,000.
And Miller's just like, wait, is this a cruel joke? And he's like, you're right, 350,000. And he's still just like, wait, are you serious? What is this a joke? Like, what's going on? It's like, fine, $500,000 and not a penny more because we got to do the scholarship fund too. And it was just like, wait, what? Then we cut to Jonathan and Mark back in the hotel room. Mark apparently was technically asleep, but had these weird dreams all night. And honest, Eddie was in there.
That was my second favorite part of the episode, was Mark waking up being like, I had a terrible night's sleep, and I was dreaming about this dude.
Yep.
That we met earlier for some reason, and it was just weird.
Yeah.
Real quick stat.
The payoff coming up from that too is great.
Real quick stat about the money situation: $500,000 in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
1.5 million is what he put into that orphanage.
I mean, that's a chunk of change.
Yeah,
That'll work.
Big chunk. That would probably do it.
Mm-hmm. So now Eddie is driving down the road, having some intentions to do some more Christmas cheer spreading. And of course, he passes the old couple whose car has broken down on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I love how he's talking to him, and they're like, "You cheated us." He's like, "I sure did."
Incredible.
And like, you admit it? And he's like, "Of course, I'm Honest Eddie." It's like, oh, okay. But he's just like, "Here, we'll make it right. You can have my car, even swap." And they're just like, "Wait, what?" And so he does. They get his car, and he drives their car away because it's drivable at this point.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Because the smoke stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. The magic smoke is still in the car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we get to Michael and Jonathan driving their car, and Jonathan's still going on about the dream. It's so surreal. He felt like he didn't sleep. Like, where are we going? To the toy store. It's like, why? Just, you'll see. And he's like, we're gonna be like Santa Claus, and Jonathan's like, more like reindeer. And they get there just as Eddie has bought a bunch of toys again from the toy store that's open on Christmas Day, first thing in the morning,
and loaded with toys.
Yeah, he does load it up.
Good inventory.
Yeah, that should be empty.
Yeah, somebody's getting a crossfire.
Yeah. So, and just as he's not able to start his car, Mark and Jonathan pull up. And this is where it comes around, and he's like, "Hey, it's you guys. I had a dream about you guys. You wouldn't believe it." And Mark's just like, "Yeah, we would."
The look on Mark's face, Victor French,
that
in
was
that
like
scene was
non-consensual miracle work. That doesn't seem cool.
Just the turn he does to Jonathan, saying, "Yeah, we would." So, and Jonathan's like, "Just need a lift." So they all pile up the toys in their car and they head to the Ratchets. And we see the Ratchets waking up on Christmas. They immediately come to the door just as they're starting to do their thing. And Mark and Jonathan walk in first with all the toys, set them down. And then Eddie walks in, is like, "Hey, Merry Christmas. Just want to make sure you'll show up for work tomorrow." And it's just like, everything's okay. Because he's not fired. Here's toys for the kids. I know you wanted to do that, so I did it for you.
Are you all right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Are you on medication? Should you be on medication? Were you previously on medication?
Nope. And then after all this, he asks little Bobby a question. It's like, "Would you like to go to a hospital in Texas that we can get you fixed?" But it's like, yes. It's like,
Gee whiz.
Gee willikers, golly.
And then he's like, let me ask one more favor. I never had kids and never had
This
grandkids.
gets so creepy.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It's really
It
flipping
so
I was
does.
like, no, stop.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
cannot be strings attached to this.
Yeah, let's just
arrangement.
close it down. In
Nope.
scene.
Nope,
Mhm.
not this week. You can't. Nope.
No, no, this is
But
too much.
you know, Bobby being Bobby. Sure, Grandpa Eddie.
Blah. Be like, this is your dad's boss of 2 days who
Yep.
fired him. Like, no, he's not.
Uh-huh.
Nope, this
But
is
we're gonna
weird.
go with it because it's that's what we're doing. Mrs. Ratchet asked him to stay for Christmas dinner, and he's like, "Hey guys, they just asked us to stay," and Mark and Jonathan are gone.
Yeah.
And then we get Bobby saying the line. Gotta say it. God
Mhm,
bless you,
mhm.
Grandpa Eddie. And he gets a good little response. I think he already has.
It was real good how fast he's like, "Hey, do you want me to pay all this money for you to go get your surgery that you desperately need?
Uh-huh.
Just call me Grandpa." Okay, Grandpa.
Yep.
No, that's too fast.
That's too much. Yeah.
Yep.
Too much.
So I had to look this up because this episode was written by a man named Dan Gordon. And let me just give you a few of the other things that he is credited as a writer for.
Lay it on us.
So Dan Gordon, this was early for him, but he wrote 36 episodes of this series. After this, he went on to do things like a couple of episodes of Highlander, the series, including the pilot episode was written by him.
Dang.
Passenger 57 was written by him. Surf Ninjas was written by Dan Gordon.
Oh, Surf Ninjas.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Take me back.
Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner was written
Ooh.
by him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang.
The Hurricane with Denzel Washington, he wrote that. Rambo Last Blood, just a few years ago.
Okay.
That was not a good movie.
So it's a weird mix of things for the guy that wrote this schmaltzy thing.
Yeah.
It's
To have
really
done.
weird.
He does not have a type that he writes for at all.
No, not really. No.
No.
No, some things are better
my
than
feeling-
others.
My feeling was like sitting watching it, and I'm like, and I can like feel my teeth rotting from the
Mhm.
saccharine sweet of it all. And I was like, I know it's not because it's a Christmas episode. Like I know they're probably largely like this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just where it is.
Yep.
Yep.
It's that cheese positivity, you know? It's
Uh-huh.
like the end of
Yeah.
a Full House episode where you're like, ugh.
Yep.
Just
Now, I
a little
will
over the
say-
top.
Reading about especially the production of this show was kind of cool because Michael Landon would go out of his way to cast unknowns
Mhm.
and also people with disabilities for
Sure.
episodes. There was a recurring character who was quadriplegic, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like he and Victor French would go to like community theaters to find people
Nice.
to be on the episode and all that kind of stuff. So I like all of that. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
very saccharinely sweet, but
Mhm.
also
Yeah.
I also sort of like it in a way.
Yeah. All right. So that was Highway to Heaven. I think we've got everybody's kind of take on it. Yes, it's super sweet. Talking about angels helping people.
Oh, one other thing I did also because I noticed it early, the number of times that Jonathan says Eddie's name,
Mm-hmm.
and I stopped counting somewhere around 16, and I don't think we had finished Ghost of Christmas Past at that point.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And it was like it was a very Jack Rose from Titanic thing where like he's just saying his name every line.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah. We know
All right.
Penny Marshall would not have appreciated that.
No.
No.
All right. So what did we think? Would we watch any more? I'll start with you, Amy.
No, I'm too old and jaded. I can't do
Yeah.
it, man. Like, come back at me in like 20 years and we'll see where I'm at. You know, I'm like maybe, but I am deep in my cynical era right now, and I simply cannot do it.
Yeah. Steven, what about you?
Well, there's probably a specific scenario I could see myself watching more of this. when I make my way to the visitation at the nursing home so I can sit with some elderly people,
Yeah.
I will happily turn this on and say, yes, Miss Gladys, let's watch some Michael Landon TV.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be there in whatever PJs they have her in, and we're gonna watch that old TV.
Yeah, she'll be in her house coat.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great.
And her quilt won't have any holes in it.
Yeah.
Miss
Nope.
Gladys would never.
No, she would point that out. Like, you see that quilt right there, boy?
Yeah. Travis, what about you?
I'm in the same boat. Like, I appreciate that the show existed. I don't really have a desire to watch more of it. And it's not a knock on the show itself. It's just I'm just not in the mindset where I want to watch this.
No, I'm pretty much with you, with you guys. I think also it's just a product of its time.
Oh,
of
yeah.
how they handled
Yeah.
this kind of stuff, you know. So I think it would be handled differently today.
Also,
with
I mean,
kinda
there is, and there is a large amount of hair envy with Michael Landon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just tough.
Oh,
I want that.
Yeah.
Michael Landon had like an old Hollywood head, you know?
Yeah.
Like old Hollywood face and jowls, but with glorious 80s hair, you know?
Oh yeah.
I feel like he was just Landon. I looked at him, I said,
Mhm.
that guy right there is a movie star.
Yep.
Wow. Touched by an Angel started 10 years later.
Oh, wow.
hmm
Oh, there was also Heaven Help Us. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that we call them fantasy series.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, yeah. I feel like some people might take
Some
issue with
people-
that.
Yeah.
Touched by an Angel was real life.
Uh-huh.
I mean, add to the sure.
I think it's just the whole like, yeah, but this is religious fantasy, and that's a weird, different thing.
It's a weird.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a space.
Mhm.
Look, I've
Yep.
seen enough focus on the family movies to know
Right.
when I'm watching propaganda.
Uh-huh. I mean, they
The only
tried
time
with
I
Seventh
hear-
Heaven, and it just
Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, the only time I hear
Ah.
God bless on TV and don't feel like a little bit ick is when it's Bob Ross at the end of the episode.
Ah, that's
And I'm
because
like,
it's
okay,
coming
thank you.
from a deep,
Mhm.
wonderful place.
Yeah, like a deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not.
Bob
like,
Ross
okay.
or Red Skelton.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm okay with that.
yeah.
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 Also, I just want to give a shout out to Michael Landon for being basically on television, specifically NBC, for essentially 30 straight years.
Yeah.
Because he
That's
was on
amazing.
Bonanza in 1959.
Right.
That ended in 73. He starts up Little House right after that. That
Yep.
goes to 83. And then he starts this show up and does it until 89.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great, but most of the soap opera actors have also done that
You got a good
with
point.
their like thousands upon thousands of episodes.
I watched a lot of General
True.
Hospital. Those people don't rotate
True.
out that much.
No,
Yeah.
they do not.
Yeah,
No, we're at the point where they're all dying off now.
I know.
Yeah, now they have to. Like,
Marlene
So-
is playing a grandma now.
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched Days of Our Lives in a long time.
I'll take your word for it.
Everybody has their moments. You know,
Sure.
you have that season where you're just obsessed with General Hospital, and that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Deidre Hall, 5,330 episodes.
God.
Whoa, that's a lot.
And see,
It's
I
a
don't
lot.
even think of her as a soap opera. I think of her as what was the show with Wilford Brimley?
Oh,
Walker, Texas Ranger?
No, Our House. Was that it?
I don't know, but we should watch it. Whatever it is.
It was like a family drama. It's going to come up in it eventually. Shannon Doherty was her daughter.
Family drama is a category we haven't taken on yet.
Family drama is actually a pretty good
That's pretty
category.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great New
It
Year's
is Our
category.
House.
Okay. I remember watching the heck out of that, but that's for another episode.
I forgot about this show.
Well, folks, I know what we're coming back from the holidays with.
Those were the
Family
days brings
drama.
you family drama.
Mm-hmm.
What
So-
better way to come back from the holiday?
Happy New Year.
So, back to this show. Did we get any feedback this week about anything?
We did. We got 2 emails. So this one comes from our good friend A Stigma, who is in the chat. Says, "Hey all, as always, I look forward to catching the live stream and hanging out in the chat. I especially love the show picked for this week because it happens to be a show that I grew up watching with my Nana, and not that long ago, I watched through it in its entirety. One of my favorite things about watching older shows is the guest stars, and this one doesn't disappoint with Jeffrey Lewis, who I grew up knowing from Fletch Lives, Tango and Cash, Lawnmower Man, and Maverick. This rewatch also inspired me to track down episodes of Little House on the Prairie, which I look forward to rewatching. Thank you all for this wonderful show that I always look forward to enjoying in both audio and video formats." Well, thank you, A Stigma.
Yes.
Wonderful. And then Travis forwarded me one. I don't know how you got this email. It went
It
directly.
was sent to me.
Sent directly to the Travis. So this is the secret email.
Mm-hmm.
This one comes from Bill. Thanks for the Kolchak episode. I'm a bit older than y'all, and I learned about Kolchak from Stephen King's 1981 nonfiction book about horror, Dance Macabre. King devotes a short chapter to the movies and series. It was a lot harder to watch obscure stuff back in the 80s. Anyway, I really enjoy the podcast, both for reminding me of shows I watched back then and introducing me to ones that I didn't. Well, thank you so much, Bill.
Nice.
We're glad to bring you stuff that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
And spend time reminiscing with you.
Nice.
And thank you for being somebody who remembered Kolchak.
Yes.
Besides Travis.
Right.
Yeah. I knew there was someone else out there.
I actually got a comment on the episode art this week from our buddy Phil Rude.
Yeah, Phil.
Heck yeah.
He said, "I never watched a single episode of Highway to Heaven, but hearing it mentioned always triggers the memory of going to the nursing home where my mom worked and seeing signs on every bulletin board and nurse's station of what time and day Highway to Heaven came
It's
on.
important.
It's
That it
nursing
would be on
homes
in the
love
TV room.
this.
Yeah.
A widely popular show with the elderly Midwesterners."
Yeah. That
See,
tracks.
I didn't
Mhm.
even know that my scenario for rewatching this was going to be so popular.
Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to bring this one up."
Yeah, no.
Right.
I thought I was making it up, but no, it's a thing.
So if you would like to send us feedback of any kind, feel free to email us. If you know our individual emails, feel free. You can hit us up at thosewerethedayshow@gmail.com. You can hit us up on the Blue Sky, Those Days Show, bisky.social. You can come hang out in the Two Dorks Discord. Steven, where's that at?
twodorks.net/Discord.
So you could talk about all the shows we've talked about and even the show coming up that Steven's bringing us next time.
That's right. We are going back to the well, everybody. But this is for a good one, and it's okay, because it's going to be the Bob Newhart Show.
Heck
Oh.
yeah.
Season 4, Episode 11, Over the River and Through the Woods.
All
it's,
right.
It's a
Nice.
good one. Yeah, I'm excited.
Which one is this?
This is a Thanksgiving episode.
No, I mean, this is the Bob Newhart Show.
Yes, not Newhart, not Bob. The Bob
Yeah.
Newhart Show. We have watched
That's
this
what I
one
wanted to make
before.
sure.
Yep. Season 4, Episode 11. It is streaming on Prime.
Nice.
All right.
Mhm,
Oh,
mhm.
that's going to be so much fun.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one.
So yes, hit us up about that if you have watched that in the past. If you're going to watch it and just want to leave your feedback with us, look, we appreciate every single one of you guys and gals and everything else that are either watching us live on Twitch or later on YouTube, listening wherever you get your podcasts. Like we always like to tell you, you can catch us live Monday nights at 9 p.m. here on the Twitch. What is the channel?
Twitch.tv/2dorks.tv.
That's it. That's the one. It's all in the show notes.
Yep. You can find all the info there. So until next week and the Bob Newhart Show. For Amy, for Travis, and Steven, I'm Audie, and you've been listening to Those Were the Days. And we'll see you all next week. Bye. Everybody.
Bye-bye.